My name is Wolfgang Ressmann. I'm coming from Germany. I'm chairman of the New European People's Forum and also an organization called Youth for Media. We are running Erasmus Plus projects in media literacy and practical work with young people and youth workers. This is one point, but the other point concerning with Ukraine, we are running since 10 years a project called Media Dialogue. Media Dialogue was started shortly after Maidan in 2015, and the idea was to bring together journalists, students of journalism, scientists and NGOs to support first Ukraine's fight for a new society after the Maidan revolution, and bringing the information how a media system could work, how we can help each other in building a new Ukraine built on principles of European values, of freedom of press, freedom of speech, and all the things. We thought that now the time was coming for this values, and the idea was also to bring other former Soviet republics in this network, and so the Belarusian Journalist Association joined us, and a year later also Georgia and Armenia. In Armenia, a group of artists, and in Georgia, Caucasus University and some NGOs. And last but not least, in this project, Moldova is the next partner of Media Dialogue. And we were rather optimistic that democratic development, step by step, perhaps one day, together with Russia, could work, and that the form of a dialogue is the best form for developing European values. This was the point. So, and then several things happened in 2015. Not only in the Corona situation, we had in 2020 the big demonstrations against Lukashenko's regime, the stolen election. You remember perhaps the big demonstrations in Belarus. And one of the results was that our friends from Belarusian had to leave the country. They are meanwhile, the whole journalist organization is meanwhile in exile, living between Poland and the Baltic states, thrown out of the country, or even were in prison. I want to tell you one example that shows what it means, concretely means for humans to live under this influence of Putin ideas. A young journalist, 20 years old, I know her, we just were in contact. She made only photos and videos from the demonstration. She was picked up from a coiffeur, just making her hair, put in a room with 20 other women, 20 square meters, only one can sleep, for around about 30 days. All of the women had corona. No sleep possible. Only little food was possible. And after this cruel and 30 days, Lukashenko regime said, "Okay, you have 3 hours for psychological help, and then you can restart your life in Belarus again." She is also meanwhile naturally in exile, but that means concrete repression and I think even torture from a state under control of Russia in Belarus. And the things are going on. Last week we have been in Georgia, and we wanted to start our project working together with students of Caucasus University and making and arranging, organizing media work, concrete media trainings. One of the Belarusian journalists were with us in the front. Some weeks before, the Belarusians said, "We are afraid to go to Georgia. We don't know what could happen. Perhaps they send us to Russia." And then from Russia to Belarus. So at the end of all, we couldn't make our project in Georgia. We have been there for 2 days because of a permission would have been needed by the Georgian government that we can make a media training with students. We have done for 15 years also with media literacy and Erasmus project with this university. We got no permission, but we met some journalists, and they told us in Tbilisi, no, we are sitting here in the morning talking about repression of the government, perhaps we are arrested in the evening. This is the situation in Georgia at the moment. You all saw in the news the big demonstrations against this so-called Georgian dream, but everything which coming from support, like an event which is happening today here with civil, supported by the German government, is impossible in Georgia at the moment. We made the whole project from Armenia and invited friends from Georgia via Zoom reporting about the situation. That means very concretely what's going on when we don't stop this war in Ukraine and we don't support Ukraine to defend themselves, the people and the state, as an independent state which has the right to go its own way in a European future. If we don't support Ukraine, next steps will follow. I had been in 4 weeks ago in a project in Tallinn, where the just in the days where the Russian jets for 12 minutes were in the airspace of Estonia, and so these threats are all real, and the consequences of these steps we see and we have seen in the Ukrainian war. So when we want to defend our freedom, when we defend our possibilities in all our European countries, not only in the member countries of EU, this is the same in the Balkan region, when we want to be the ones who say this is the development of our countries, we have to throw these Russian ideas out of Europe, to throw it ideological, to give Ukraine the chance to defend themselves in this war, helping them with weapons and all the things they need, also give them a perspective, like Roger said, to rebuild Ukraine, and on the other side also learning from Ukraine, military as civil. Then we have a future in Europe, but Russian is not our enemy. We don't want to make war against Russia, and no one in Western Europe, no one on the Balkan wants to attack Russia. This is absolutely clear. No one wants Russia to be to lose a war. No one wants that, but we want to protect Ukraine because we want to protect our own values, and we want to live in a society where things like I told in Belarus could not happen, where freedom of press is possible, and where things like we are making today together with North Macedonia, Germany, and the Westminster Alliance for Ukraine is possible, and we can discuss all the issues. Therefore, we fight common with Ukraine and supporting Ukraine. This is my experience about 10 years of media dialogue in the former Eastern Partnership countries. Thank you very much for your attention.